Hello there everyone, and welcome to a new edition of Lydia's Crafty Corner with me, Lydia, in my little crafty corner. So today I'm going to be sharing a really fun technique using dies as stencils. So this means that you can use any die that you want to and stretch its use by using it then as a stencil. So firstly, I am going to be doing a background, and I'm going to be using some ink colours. So I'm using Pink Pearl, Coral Bliss and Mango Smoothie, and I'm going to be doing a little bit of ink blending. So when I do my ink blending, I start with my lightest colour and then work my way up, and then I work my way back down again. The reason being is because I am not the best at ink blending, I have to say, and I do find that the first layer that I put down looks kind of splotchy every time I do it. Maybe if I work on it and I get a bit more practiced, I'll be a little bit better, but I do find that if I go with the first layer and I'm not really bothered if it's splotchy, then I go over it with the second layer. It really does even it out. So that's why I always do 2 layers. The first layer, yeah, the second layer, yay. So then I have used the Spring Showers cover die, and I've cut this out of some masking paper. So I've lined it up with the edges. I've only taken the backing off the top piece, as you can see there. So I lined the bottom piece up first that had this without the sticky on, and then I'm just going to pull the backing paper off while I'm sticking it down. So this is going to give me a really even coverage, and it's going to make sure it's nice and flat and straight. So it's a really quick and easy way to do that, and it really works. So then I'm going to take some white pigment ink and I'm just going to dab this in. I find that dabbing pigment ink like this works a lot better than rubbing it over or blending it. This is going to give me a thicker layer of the white, and I do want a nice thick layer to cover that bold, beautiful background that we've just created. And you're going to want to make sure that that pigment ink is dry before you remove the stencil. You're going to want to make sure it's dry because we're going to be doing a little bit of doodling, and if it's not dry, it is not going to work. So I did start doing my doodling and it didn't work very well, so I have dried it off with a heat tool a little bit more and then went back into my doodling. So I'm sorry, I did press play a little bit late on that one, I'm sorry. So I have started. I'm just using a black fine line pen, and as you can see, I still haven't dried it completely. So I have to kind of clean my pen off on a piece of paper when I'm doing my doodling, but that's not too bad because I do find that putting a piece of paper over where your hand is going to be on your card does help a lot without, to stop smearing the ink around. Maybe it's not dry as much as you want, but just popping a little piece of paper down, a little bit of scrap paper, where you're going to place your hand really works and keeps everything a lot cleaner than it would be if I was to pop my hand down on this newly blended and inked piece of cardstock. It may have gone all over the place, but it hasn't done because I popped that little bit of scratch paper down. If you're wondering, that's why that's why it is there. So as you can see, I'm just doodling, and I do find that the less you think about doodling and the quicker you go, the better it looks. I know it sounds weird. I think if you spend your time too much on the doodling, it kind of gives it a jilted look. If you're a little bit quicker with it and just let it go with the flow, it gives it a more organic and doodly feel. And I like that look. Maybe you do want the look of the more perfect, and you could take longer about it if you wanted to. But I just find that this cool, sketchy, doodly look works really well with that beautiful background that we've just created. So as you can see, I'm just going inside the white inked areas and just giving a quick doodle, and then that is it all done. And I just love how this turned out. I really do love this. So I'm using Caps Bold Alphabet dies from Altenew, and I'm using a piece of Black Cardstock, and I'm going to add some of that gorgeous gold glitter washi tape from Altenew down the bottom. So this glitter tape is amazing. It does not shed, so you're not going to find glitter everywhere. It stays exactly how it should be on the washi tape, and I just love it. So I'm just adding my letters on, and I've chosen the letters for hugs. So I've got H, U, G and an S, and I'm just lining these up on that piece of cardstock. So I'm trying to make sure that they do touch the bottom edge, so I have the same amount of gold glitter on each of the letters, so it looks like that they've been dipped in gold glitter, when really they haven't. It's just nice and clean and simple glitter washi tape. So I'm adding these down, and I am adding a little bit of washi tape to keep them in place, because I don't want these moving around after I've spent all the time trying to line them up. So I'm then going to place that piece on the A plate for my mini blossom, pop the B plate on top, and run it through my mini blossom machine. So I only ran it through once and they cut perfect. I love my little mini blossom. I love that it can stay on my desk because it's so tiny, and also it's very, very sweet. So as you can see, there are my letters cut out, and I'm just going to remove them from my piece, the backing piece, well, the whole piece. So I'm just removing that, and I'm just going to move them off to the side, and then I'm going to pop them onto my card. Now these bold cap letters are rather large, so if you wanted to, you could do this on a landscape card and they wouldn't get lost at all. They are really, really cool. So I'm using a orange cream card base, so this is just cardstock made from orange cream cardstock, and I'm going to add this on. I just wanted a bright card when I opened it up. I don't know why. You could just place this onto a white cardstock if you wanted to, but I've just used the glue tape from Altenew just to add that down. Firstly, I'm going to place my letters to make sure that they do fit on the front of my card, and I find that they fit if I touch the edges, and I kind of like this look. It's going to give me a really different look, and I'm going to go with it. I do want my edges to be, my letters even, to be super straight, so I'm just going to line my card base up with my grid mat that I have on my cutting mat below me, and then add a ruler across so I can make sure that these are nice and straight when I'm placing them down. So I have added some foam tape behind the letters, and I'm just adding the end two letters in first so I can get the placement and the spacing even in for the U and the G perfect, and nothing's going to be hanging over the edge. Like I said, they're touching the edges, but I don't want them hanging off. I want them to be nice and contained on this card. So there we go. That is it all complete. We've done a lot of different techniques on here, using dies as stencils, doing some doodling, and I really like how this card turned out. It's really fun. And I think that sending this one to someone is really going to make them smile. And every card that you make like this is going to be completely different because of the doodling. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. I really do hope that you've enjoyed the technique and that you do give it a go. If you don't want to miss out on any videos that we do upload to the channel, it would be great if you could subscribe, and then you won't miss out on anything. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again really soon. Bye-bye.